For this next story, I'm going to let the pictures do most of the talking. This was the scene just a few months ago when a street was completely blocked off due to some sort of parade. But it wasn't really a parade if there was no one there to watch it. Unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances, no one showed up to watch the parade, except for our little boy here. You could tell he was very disappointed because all he wanted was to watch the police go by and show their support for him. So he jumped down from the curb and started to walk away. Daniel called out to him and told him to come back because he needed his help. Then what happened next will make you smile. At first, the boy was hesitant to join in on the fun, but after a while, he started to dance along with them. Again, this is where things get very emotional, because the boy's mother and father were driving by at that exact same time. They could unbelieve their eyes when they saw all the officers dancing and their son right in the middle of it all. I think the boy felt good knowing that even though he might not be able to become a police officer himself, he'll always have the support of his community. The police officers involved in the parade did not want to remain anonymous. The smiles and laughter of children are the true reward for our officers' hard work and dedication. I couldn't agree more, and I think the police department should be commended for what they did. If so, share your story in the comments below. You never know. It might brighten someone's day. Also, if you know of any other good news stories I should cover, please let me know. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. In fact, they gave an interview saying this is exactly why they chose to become law enforcement officers. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I promise to make you smile. They wanted to be role models and heroes for the community, especially for children. I think they definitely achieved that on this day. In fact, there was only one person there, a young boy who looked very sad, sitting all alone on the curb. They were very emotional and could not stop thanking the officers for what they had done. The parents explained that their son was battling a rare disease that kept him mostly confined to his home. The officers were able to provide him with some temporary relief and happiness, which was all that mattered in the end. As we can see, he was wearing a hat that said police on it. She also said she was unsure if her son would ever get the chance to lead a normal life due to the progression of his illness. But days like these definitely help lift everyone's spirits. And even though the word was misspelled, his heart was in the right place. He desperately wanted to be an officer when he grew up. Another officer added, "It was an absolute pleasure to meet this young man and his family. We'll hope to see him at more of our community events, and I hope that too." Much so that he would sit out on the street corner every day just hoping to catch a glimpse of one. And finally, one day his wish came true when a local police department announced they would be holding a parade right down the street from his house. Then something very unexpected happened. One of the officers got out of his car and walked over to the young boy. The officer introduced himself as Daniel and asked the boy why he was sitting out there all alone. The boy told Daniel about how he loves being a police officer and how he wished someone would play with him. Daniel smiled and told him he had an idea. But before he could explain any further, he started to take off his gear. This confused the boy even more, but Daniel reassured him everything would make sense in just a moment. As Daniel began to take off his jacket, the other officers started to follow suit, which made our little boy think this was actually a real police call. Daniel asked the boy if he knew how to dance, and the boy replied, yes. So Daniel put on some music and started dancing right in the middle of the street. All the other officers joined in too. It was then that the boy realized this was all just a big surprise for him. I don't think he could believe his eyes. People driving by on the street saw the officers dancing and started honking their horns and cheering them on. This is where things get emotional. The parents immediately pulled over and ran over to the boy. In a later interview, the boy's mother said she didn't know how to thank these officers enough because they made her son so happy. When asked how he felt during the parade, the boy simply said, "I felt good." One of the officers said, "We will always try to go above and beyond for the community, and especially for the kids." The chief of police even posted on Facebook saying, "Our officers strive to make a positive difference in the lives of those we serve every day." If you agree, feel free to hit the like button below. Now, have you ever had a close encounter with a police officer?